Module 3. Create Intersection Project Settings. This module uses the Create Intersection tool wizard to create intersection content to the drawings. You will create a corridor model at the intersection of SR61 and US 98 using the intersection wizard and apply the project settings. You will work with external reference files to help you depict the project limits, display panometric geometry, and elevation data within the project limits. As part of this exercise, you will manage an aerial photo which will be displayed with the site's coordinate system. In this chapter, you will learn about checked reference data, managing external references, the intersection wizard, review project settings, create intersection, and then review the results. Before we begin with this module, you must run the Chapter 3 Setup exe file to restore all the files to the Civil 3D 2019 project folder. So to do that, I'm going to select the dataset folder. I'm going to select Chapter 3-22049555201.zip file. I'm going to right click and choose Extract All. I'm going to browse to my C drive. I'm going to select the FDOT Civil 3D 2019 projects, choose Select Folder, and then choose Extract. Once it's extracted, you should have a project folder in the Civil 3D 2019 project directory. Exercise 3.1. Create the MOD LRD02 file. This is the file that creates your 3D elements like your corridor and your intersection. In this exercise, we'll create the MOD LRD02 file again to create an intersection using the project settings. Go to the application menu in the top left-hand corner and choose Open. Browse to your project. So we're going to go to the C drive. We're going to choose we're going to choose Civil 3D 2019 projects. Select the project folder. Scroll down to our roadway folder. Sort this by name. And in the roadway folder, we want to choose the Open 3-1 Create Intersection Project Start. So 3-1 Create Intersection Project Start. Choose Open. If the external file reference toolbar comes up or tool palette, just go ahead and close that. And then we're going to do a file save as. So choose File, Save As, and I'm going to call this MOD LRD02. Click Save. It'll ask if you want to replace it. There's one already in the file. Go ahead and say yes to overwrite the existing drawing. Next, exercise 3.2. We're going to associate the MOD LRD02 DWG file to the project. To do that, on the Tool Space palette, on the Prospector tab, we're going to set our data shortcuts. So right-click and choose Set Working Folder. And we're going to choose Civil 3D 2019 Projects. We're going to pick the top folder, not the project itself. And then click OK. Next, we're going to select the project. So right-click and choose Set Data Shortcuts Project Folder. And just verify that there's a check next to the name 22049555201. And then click OK. Then finally, to associate the drawing to this project, right-click once more on the data shortcut and choose Associate Project to Current Drawing. Just verify that you have the correct working folder and the correct project is selected in that working folder, and click OK. After you click OK, it's always good to check at the top to see that you have the project in brackets, and that lets you know that this drawing is now associated to that project. Exercise 3.3, Review Reference Data. In this exercise, we're going to review XREF data that's in our drawing. Exercise 3.3, Review Reference Data. In this exercise, you will review reference data in the drawing. So first we're going to review data referenced alignments. So from the tool space, select the prospector and expand alignments and expand centerline alignments. Verify you have the 3 alignments in here, and then also expand the miscellaneous alignments and review those as well. Next, we're going to verify that we have a surface in our drawing. So up on top, we're going to choose the plus symbol next to surface, and you should have a DTM existing surface data in this file. Then finally, go down and click on the plus symbol for corridors, and we have our corridor basic and our corridor SR61 drawing that also reside in this file. Exercise 3.4, Review Attached External Reference Files, or otherwise known as XREFs. In this exercise, you will review the attached external reference files in the MOD LRD02 drawing. First, go up to the Insert ribbon, and in the Reference panel on the bottom right-hand corner, click the down arrow. This shows you XREFs that you have in your file. Depending on what year of Civil 3D you're using, you may have to correct the status of this image, because right now it shows that it's not found. To do that, right-click on the image and choose Set New Path. And here, next you're going to go to the FDOT 2019 projects, click on the project itself, roadway, and then an aerial, and just select the image again, click Open, and now the status of that image is loaded. Exercise 3.5, Unload the attached image XREF. In this step, I will show you how to unload the attached 20XX-10-23_GE_SR61 image from the MOD LRD02 DWG file. So with the external reference manager up, if it's not up, you can always type in XREF at the command line for a shortcut to bring it up. Select the image, right click, and we're going to choose Unload, and then it turns the image off in the background of the drawing. Next, go ahead and turn off the XREF file, and then click on the Save option. Exercise 3.6, Intersection Wizard. Create intersection using project values. In this exercise, we will learn how, by using the intersection wizard, to create an intersection using specific project values. So first, go to the Home ribbon. Under the Create Design panels, you're going to find Intersections. Click on the down arrow for Intersections and choose Create Intersection. After you select the command, AutoCAD Civil 3D is now asking you to select the insertion point for your intersection. So I'm going to scroll down here in the middle and pick where the 2 alignments intersect across one another. Press Enter after selecting the insertion point. And Civil 3D asks you to select the main road alignment or press Enter to select from a list. I'm going to go ahead and press Enter to select my alignment from a list. Here you want to choose US 98 with the description of CL State Road 30. Next, click OK. Once you click OK, the Create Intersection Wizard dialog box comes up. The next thing we want to do is give our intersection a name. So I'm going to choose the top option, highlight the existing name that's in there, and press Delete to erase that name and type in my own name. Intersection dash SR61 and US 98. Down on the bottom for the intersection corridor type, we want to make sure that we have primary road crown is maintained. Leave everything else as default and go ahead and click Next to go to the Geometry Details step. Up at the top, just verify that the priority alignment or the first alignment is US 98, and the second alignment is SR61. Next, we're going to look at the offset and curb returns. First, make sure that Create or Specify Offset Alignments is checked, and then click on Offset Parameters. For the offset parameter values for US 98, for the left offset, we want an offset value of 24. For the right offset alignment definition, for the offset value, we want to type in 18 feet. For the secondary road, which is SR61, we want to specify an offset value of 16. And the right offset alignment definition for an offset value, we want to change that to 18. Next, click OK. Next, we want to create curb return alignments, so make sure you have that box checked. And then we're going to choose curb return parameters. Again, when this box comes up, you can choose different quadrants by clicking on the down arrow, or you can choose the next option to cycle through each quadrant in the drawing. We want to start out at the northeast quadrant, and we want to specify different radiuses for each quadrant. So go down the bottom where it says radius. I'm going to click on the box, and the northeast quadrant curb return radius is going to be 58.6. Click Next. The southeast quadrant curb return radius, we want to change that to 63.5. Click Next. The southwest quadrant curb return radius, we want to change that to 110. Click Next. And finally, the last quadrant is the northwest quadrant. We want to change that radius to 60. After we've typed in those values, go ahead and click OK to continue. At the bottom of the dialog box, go ahead and click Next to go to the Corridor Regions portion of the wizard. Next, we're going to change the Corridor Regions panel. Up on top, make sure that you have Create Corridor in the intersection area checked. And then we want to make sure that we have Create a New Corridor option selected. Also make sure that for Select Surface to Daylight that you have the DTM Existing Surface selected. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to select an assembly to import. So click on the down arrow and you should have an assembly called FDOT intersection source assembly.xml. Once you choose that, you'll notice that the corridor region section type and the assemblies to apply have both changed. So let's just review each corridor region section type and assembly that is applied. So for curb return fillets, we have a specific FDOT curb return fillet specified, developed by the FDOT of Transportation. We have a primary road through pavement, which is US 98 primary road through intersection assembly. We have a primary road full section, US 98 primary road full section assembly. Also notice as I click on these, as the preview on the bottom changes, it lets you know what portion or region of the intersection that you're working on. Next, we have primary road part section for daylight left. US 98 primary road part section daylight left is being applied. Primary road part section daylight right. We're using an assembly called SR61 secondary road half section daylight right. Secondary full section, we're using SR61 secondary road full section. Secondary half section, we're using daylight left, which is the SR61 secondary road half section daylight left. And then finally we have secondary road half section daylight right, which is using the SR61 secondary road half section daylight right assembly. So after you reviewed this dialog box, the last step is to click Create Intersection. When you click Create Intersection, if the intersection profile locking dialog box is displayed, click on Continue to use these profiles. The Panorama Tool palette, or otherwise known as the Event Viewer, is displayed. You can click on the Events tab to review the events, and then to clear the events, you can come up to Action and then choose Clear All Events. To close out of the panorama box, come up to the top right hand and click on the green checkbox. Then go ahead and use the wheel of your mouse and scroll backwards to scroll out if you need to. If the corridor doesn't show up when you first build it, type in Regen, R-E-G-E-N, and press Enter to display the complete intersection. Exercise 3.7. Review results of SR61 and US 98 intersection. You may have to perform a regen to display the SR61 and US 98 intersection. So here in this file you actually see it, but if you don't, just type in REGEN and press Enter, and this will regen the file, and this should show the whole entire intersection corridor. Next, from the Toolspace tab, on the Prospector tab, click the plus symbol next to intersections to display the intersection list. Click the plus symbol next to SR61 and US 98 to expand that list. Click the plus symbol next to intersecting alignments to expand that list. Click the plus symbol next to US 98 and next to SR61 to display the created offset alignments list. Next, select the plus symbol next to intersection quadrants to expand the list. And then click the plus symbol next to each one of the quadrants to display the curb return alignments for each quadrant. Review results of corridor creation. Next, we're going to review results of the corridor creation from the Toolspace Prospector tab. So on Toolspace, on the Prospector tab, locate corridor, click on the plus symbol. Notice in the list you have intersection SR61 and US 98. Click on the plus symbol to expand that list. If your drawing says corridor 1 or corridor-1 instead of intersection SR61 and US 98, you can select that intersection, right-click, go under Properties, and change the name here. So as you can see, when we click the plus symbol next to our intersection corridor, it shows all the baselines that were used or created for each quadrant. If you did rename the intersection, let's say for example I put a -1 at the end of it, I click OK, you may get a gold shield that pops up. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. If it does show up, simply right-click on it and then choose Rebuild, and that'll update the intersection with the current name. To end Module 3, come up on top, let's save our file, and then close this drawing.